Hey people, greetings. I'm coming to you on Monday, 13th of June. Cheers. Man, the heat has hit as of this morning. So, Omahans, be careful in the heat. A few things to share this morning regarding music and stuff. So, let me get started. Of course, let me say hello to the family. As it turns out, in my last video on the 10th, when I mentioned the birthday, I was feeling it right. My friend Gary Beck, who just passed away on the 30th of May from lung cancer, last Friday, the 10th, was his birthday. I did remember internally. Like I said, June is a busy month for birthdays for my family. This week it'll be my nephew Karim. His birthday is Thursday. Good morning, Karim, or whenever you see this. It's just that time because of the age of rock and roll, the era of rock and roll and everything. Everyone is aging out, so we've lost another musician of note for me, and I'm mentioning him because many of you may not know who this man is. You probably ought to. Roman Bunka was in the band Embryo from Germany, but they were like an early purveyor, true purveyor of music from around the world, using world instruments, jamming with people from different parts of the world in those parts of the world. Roman Bunka was their guitarist, but also prominently played the oud. Interestingly, I just talked to Didier Malherbe, who plays that kind of stuff. He is a duduk player. But the sound of the oud figures in strongly on the Embryo records that he's on. I don't have all the Embryo records that he's on. I have this one, Embryo's Rache, which I love. Surfin, with that funky cover. It's actually a very good album. This is really jams hard in parts. And my favorite, Steig Aus, Dreaming Girls on this, is just one of those songs. It's imperfect, but where they were headed was perfect. And that cover is just one of the strangest covers. I love it. I even think that's Roman there on the cover. That's his oud, and the sound of the oud is prominent on this album. Rest in peace, Roman Bunka. So, for folks that live in Omaha, the Reader is a monthly or bi-monthly magazine that comes out, and it's about entertainment, local business news, just general stuff. Their lead article for June is, pardon me, my copy got wet already. If we build it, will they come? It's a big article on new venues opening up in the city for music. There's several that are being built, refurbished, etc. In the area. I was interviewed for the article, and I'm pointing it out because it's rather nice. They bookend the article with quotes from me. They start the article with my name, literally. Derek Higgins has watched the Omaha music scene change dramatically over the years. And then they end the article, which is several pages long, about 5 pages long. They end it with a quote from me, which is appropriate because one of the things about music and art and things is that people tend to clump together according to similarity, that we click up. And the cliquishness of Omaha music has always been, I think, sad and a detriment. So I say that. It's like, I always play across genres and cliques. I play with people who won't play with each other. And I'm always hoping that that changes for the better. So I just want to point that out. The latest reader, check it out. Omahans, people in Omaha. I'll be in the Omaha magazine next month. Okay. So, man, it's hot already. And I had turned the air off because I know that it's pretty noisy. However, as I sit here, as I got my Giuseppi shirt on, Fred Church, if you happen to see this, or Giuseppi, if you see the video, I got the shirt on. Thank you. You can still hear me, right? I was starting to sweat. I just turned the air conditioner off less than 5 minutes ago, and it's like, geez, or 5 minutes ago, I'm looking at the time now. It's the humidity. So I'm turning that son of a bummer on, okay? Okay, so I had a good weekend for the most part. As you know, this is a bit of Dear Diary as well as me talking about music. And so I spent the weekend processing grief because my brother's birthday, who we lost last year shortly after his birthday is coming up next weekend. And then to lose Gary just now, and they were like part of my inner circle, truly. It's like, not that we spent a lot of time together, but Gary was almost like family, and he was part of this, what I truly consider my inner circle of friends. And it's just really missing them in a lot of ways over the weekend, really missing them already. And speaking of the finality of death, Bowie came up. I was watching some TV, watching some docs, and then I started to watch one on Bowie, which I've watched many times before, and they were talking about The Next Day, and it was sounding good on the doc, and I hadn't played it in a while. This is a super strong David Bowie album, The Next Day. This is really good. Double album. The whole first album, both sides 1 and 2, play like David Bowie radio. It's like every song could have been a single. Several of them were. Where Are We Now? Stars Are Out Tonight. I'd Rather Be High. It's really strong. Real good Bowie. And he's gone. Gone, damn it. Gone. Strangeness of life. It's precious. And we just take it for granted. We're fussing and fighting about bullshit. What a strange world we live in. Played most of this this weekend. Geogaddi, or however you say it by the Boards of Canada. Spooky instrumental and electronic music, a sound of their own, very looping, but textural. They have a texture of sound that they have or had. I don't know if they're done. I could use some more Boards of Canada. So I have conflicting thoughts and feelings, and I just will share them with you. So, because I'm on a limited income, being on Social Security, I really do have to budget. All of you do too, don't you? Or most of you. Maybe there's some rich people watching me. I don't know. So, my monthly budget for records goes quickly and easily. And what I was trying to do this month was wait for the next Record Store Day drop, which is this Saturday. It's not that there's a lot that I want, but there is. I want the Prince Gold. I want the Miles. And there's a Steve Hackett that, boy, I'd like to get that. I doubt that I'll get that. The other two I think I'll probably get. But I already, but this weekend I went shopping, and it's grapefruit that got me. If you see this grapefruit mic in particular, your update on Instagram, it's like, I gotta go see if that's still there. They got in some really good used records, so I'll show you. So the conflicting thought is, let me finish it. So much on my mind. Is that we're always worried about, and we're always worried about catastrophes, and do I have enough? If something breaks down, if this happens, can I cover it? And of course, me, like again, most average people, I don't. If something big happens, you know, it'll be tough. And at the same time, I'm thinking about my brother's already gone. Gary, I just lost. One of the things I know about Gary and what I knew about my brother Pat is, you know, they're like me, trying to make their money stretch. And Gary had been saving money for this elusive thing that he wanted to do, or a place that he wanted to move to. And it's not going to happen. And so I think about that, and I'll think to myself, I'm worried about this fucking money, but I want to buy some records. And so I went ahead and bought some records, okay? And hopefully my house doesn't fall apart. Oh, that's another thing to share. So it's going well with my neighbors and the dogs. They have blocked off that part of the yard rather well for me. And I was out this weekend sitting out a bit because I knew the heat was coming, so I said, let me go and sit out while I can. I forget this neighbor's name. He's Mexican or he's from South America. I don't know. He's Hispanic. But he was working on one of his cars. He's got a bunch. And got to talking, and it's friendly, you know. And he mentioned to me that he still intended to raise the, put an addition on the fence to protect me from the dogs. And I said, well, you know, what you've done so far is working. I'll leave it up to you, you know. And he said, no, I'll still do it. And a good friendly exchange. And then we spoke more over the weekend as he was out. And then my on the other side is my cousin Ray. I hope you folks don't mind, because this is my channel. I talk about my life. Ray is my cousin, and the Hispanic neighbor has already done some work on Ray's house, so they talk. So we ended up having a three-way, which was a very nice exchange. And I was able to ask my neighbor, so, you know, when I'm ready, are you still willing to do this work on my house? I said, oh yes, you know, when you're ready. And I said, you know, honestly, I'm going to try to put it off till next spring, try to save some more money. So that was nice, you know. Communication works. We can get along. We just need to learn how to be better humans to one another. So things are going well with the dogs. So what did I buy? I went down in two trips, because that's how it is. It's an addiction, you know. It's like I went down to grapefruit, and I thought I got what I really wanted, but I went back because I couldn't see getting everything that I wanted in the one trip. It would have been a lot. So I went back and I took some trade. I didn't think the trade would amount to much, but it amounted to more than I thought. It was really helpful. Okay, so here's the music that I bought in the first trip to Grapefruit. Giuseppe Logan. The Giuseppe Logan Project. Free jazz saxophonist who put out, I don't have it, on ESP disc. It's the one, he's done more records than that, but it's the one that I'm after. When I saw this, I just said, well, I just have to get it. Interestingly, what this is a project where these folks pretty much got Giuseppe Logan off the street or out of a homeless situation. He's been homeless, messed up on drugs, and had serious mental health problems for decades. And this is a group of people who were trying to resuscitate him or do something for him in recent times. I'm saying all that because this is a project where listening to it is you're reminded that that's what you're listening to. This is a man who's no longer in his prime. I can hear the mental illness where he's playing and then he'll just start to repeat a phrase like I forget the they don't even, it's not Sweet Georgia Brown, Satin Doll, and his playing is ragged. It's like, but in reading the liner notes about what this is about, and they say very clearly this is what you hear, you know, what's left of the man. So this isn't one that's going to be much listened to, but I'm glad that I bought it. Real glad that I got it. Here's another one that was down there that I didn't know about. Contrepoint. Contrepoint. I don't remember seeing this before. This is from the 70s, 1971, Paris. It's a fairly recent numbered edition reissue of this. Oh, okay, this is why. Did they tell the story? This band never properly issued an album, but these are from tapes of jams that were captured while these guys were working with Hugh Hopper, the bassist from Soft Machine. Anyway, I didn't know about this, but looking at it, everything about it I knew. This is something that has to go home with me. And it's, excuse me, and it's good. And these are jam tapes. But wow. This is really strong. As well as that strong cover, you know, the sexism or whatever you want to call that, the way that the use of the female body as a prop and how we used to just think nothing of doing that. Another one that I bought on the first trip down was this, because I didn't know what it was and had never seen it before. Kosmose. Cosmic music from the Black Country. And it turns out that this is on the Sub Rosa label, which is a very good label. This is another one of those things where this is music that was recorded in the 70s. It's improvised. It was never released. I didn't know anything about this band. It's not excellent, but it's pretty good. And some of the improvisations do take off. It's very much in the tradition of Pink Floyd sound. And that spacey psychedelic sound from the late 60s we were getting from England. And then Germany. Kosmose. Real happy I got this. And the find of the thing that made me rush down there was this, because this is a rare album and this is a reissue because originals of this are, again, very pricey. Cortex. Let me get it straight. This is either Belgian or French. From the 70s, fusion jazz rock. Troupeau Bleu. And this is one to get. This is very fiery. This is very good. It's very ambitious. And it's also interesting that you can hear that the drummer is a little bit out of his depth here. But he's doing his best that he can. This is very good. Cortex. I've been wanting this. When I saw it in the Instagram picture, I said, what? I gotta get my ass down there, okay? So that was the first group. The other thing I did was I went to Homer's twice. Because on their New Music Friday update, there was finally an album I wanted that they got in. Sleepwalkers by David Sylvian, a reissue of this compilation album of his, of stuff. This is just really everything about the way David Sylvian operates, his aesthetic, his sound, visuals. This is where I'm at. This is music and art beautifully combined. His images and the timbre and the way that he works with sound after tin drum and just throughout his solo work up through Manifold, the way that he has just gone deeper and deeper into sound texture. It's fantastic work. And Ryuichi Sakamoto, who is on my mind a lot, hoping that he's okay, is all over this album. I love that cover, Sleepwalkers. So I got that on my first trip to Homer's. Saturday I went back down to go to Grapefruit to see what was left that I didn't get, because I thought to myself, I'm not the only one buying this stuff, and some of it's probably gone. So, but Homer's got in their used drop Saturday, and in there was this. Finally, I get a copy of Richard Pinhas's Iceland from Helden. I've been after this for a while, and this is one of his, well, I love Helden and Pinhas, his whole sound. If you know it, you know it. So, okay, this is a long one. I'm going to keep going. And the other one that they had at Homer's on Saturday, which I was surprised it was still there, but I grabbed it. Bowie. David Bowie. Images, 1966, 1967. And what this is his very first solo album, which I still didn't have proper, although I have all the songs on it, on another one of those licensed. This is David Bowie's that come out in Europe. But this has his early singles and B-sides as well on this. And so I thought to myself, yeah. And the price was good. It was like, oh, nobody wants this? So I grabbed that. So on my second round at Grapefruit, well, actually, no, I got this the first time. I already had this, but I noticed that this was a double album. Through the Looking Glass by Midori Takada. This is really an amazing work of percussion work. So I just grabbed it. I just said to double, and then as I was talking about it to Mike at the counter, he said, yeah, it's recut at 45 RPM. Didn't even mention that it's on crystal clear clear vinyl, which I like. It's beautiful. I said, oh my God, that's deluxe. When I got home, I saw that. I said, glad I grabbed it. I almost left it because, like I said, I already had the single album edition of this. So I took that down Saturday as part of my trade. If you haven't heard this, highly recommended. The cover is perfect for it. It creates another world. So, see, I keep overlooking. This is another one I got Friday. Been wanting this because, again, this is on Strata East, and the originals are super expensive, but this is one of those Afrocentric albums from the 70s that's well worth it. I think there's a certain cadre of collectors who like to collect this stuff because they think it makes them hip to have this black music. I'm pretty certain that's true, as opposed to really being into the sounds. This is an excellent album. Oneness of Juju, African Rhythm. Someone got this through their Vinyl Me Please and sold it. This is beautiful tip-on jacket. Really nice pressing. This is a really solid, excellent album. So that was my haul Friday. I went back for these compilation albums because I was just kind of not. I like compilations and I don't. Okay, these I had to get these. An anthology of Turkish experimental music, and boy is this good. Another one on Sub Rosa. Whoever was selling these records, they might even. I wouldn't be surprised if they watched my videos and see me buying all their records. That's a label that I would collect because it's just always excellent. And this is excellent. From Bruland Aurel, who I have, to Ilan Mimaroglu, who I also have. You might know him from that record he made with Freddie Hubbard, and all these other names who I don't know. This is excellent and a deep listen. Probably one of the best records I got this weekend, listening wise. I said, whoa, that's really good. Another comp I got, put out by the Freeman brothers, who I talked to online in music groups, Alan Freeman and his brother. They put out the book Cracking the Cosmic Egg. They're considered experts on progressive rock and krautrock. They compiled this. Cologne Curiosities, the unknown krautrock underground. And I had never heard of any of these tracks. None of them were out before that I can tell by the information here. And mostly these are winners. Goofy cover. But mostly this is like, wow, yeah. Real good. I couldn't leave this. I was glad it was there. Ennio Morricone's soundtrack to Gli Occhi della Para. Look at that beautiful, beautiful jacket. Is that tip-on? Is that what they call it? That process? But when I noticed that it was performed by the Gruppo di Improvvisazione Nuova Consonanza, I knew I had to get this. Conducted by Bruno Nicolai. I knew then that it would be, at least in part, avant-garde. And this is really strong. I haven't seen the movie. Don't need to see it. This is excellent. Just what I like. So I got that. And two more. Did I get two more? Yeah. This one, I knew that it would be something I wouldn't be listening to much, but the name kept striking me. I know who this person is. And then when I went and grabbed it, and I looked it up and said, oh yes, this controversial artist, Hermann Nitsch, who just died in April. His work is, he's been imprisoned for his work in Europe. So controversial, where he works with blood and entrails and theater, and just really, you know. So this is an organ piece, organ concert by Hermann Nitsch. So I knew before I got it that it would be probably just this long drone, and it is. Another one of his pieces. If you know Nitsch, you've seen those pictures of his work, and where it's like people just covered in blood and animal guts and shit like that. Thankfully, this is, I wouldn't want, if I saw that, I wouldn't buy it, because that just, you know, I don't need to be seeing that. This is very, very, very heavy. And I actually listened to a whole side of it because the droning aspect of it is very intense. It's not bullshitting around. It's very intense. And the last thing I got, and I'm about to go because of the time here, electronic music, innovative tracks from the early electronic explorers. Once again, sure glad I decided to go back and get this. This is just from Stockhausen to George Martin as Ray Cathode to Vladimir Ussachevsky. This is a double album. Beautiful vinyl, but when you put this up in the light, which I can't do here, and look through it, I wish I could, you can sort of see that. It's beautiful, like clouds or something. You know, they've been doing that with vinyl, colored vinyl, that, you know, it looks like one thing, and then you put it up to the light, and you see all that texture and stuff. So I'm really happy with the haul, and it's been wonderful listening. I haven't gotten through everything either. That's been nice, because I can listen, I can do some deep and heavy listening, but I've got more listening to go. So that's my Monday check-in. I hope everything is good with you folks. Let me know how you're doing.